motherfuckers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Meantime, my heart is broken, everybody. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. What a shocker this weekend. And for me, this is very personal. I knew Lindsey. I love Lindsey. Many of you guys know I'm a Gamecock. I went to the University of South Carolina. So did Lindsey Graham. And we bonded very much over that. He was a number of years ahead of me, went to the law school there. But Lindsey was such a great, great guy. And we met early on when I was in Washington, talked so much about South Carolina. We did events together honoring our beloved alma mater and a number of other great charities and other issues and things we cared about. But he was such a great man. And I cried yesterday when I heard the news that Lindsey had suddenly passed away at the age of 71. This guy was such a warrior for freedom. This guy was somebody who never backed down from a fight. Think about how vociferously and how passionately he was defending Brett Kavanaugh. Remember, during the Supreme Court nomination process, he probably wouldn't be a Supreme Court justice if it wasn't for Lindsey Graham. And then he just came back from Ukraine, where he was talking about additional sanctions on Russia. He was a huge supporter of Israel. There are so many layers to this. He was a great man and a great, great American. Humble, and his life story is absolutely remarkable. Think about this. Growing up in a one-bedroom location, sharing a single room with his family behind a pool hall, a bar in South Carolina. Then his parents' untimely death when he was a teenager. Then he got guardianship of his younger sister, Darlene, at the age of 13. And then he joined the Air Force. He was in the Air Force for 33 years, retired as colonel with a Bronze Star. And then, of course, became a member of Congress and was now just about to end his fourth term as a senator and was up for re-election this fall. He was a remarkable man and a remarkable American story. And I will miss my dear friend, Lindsey Graham. And today, just a little bit ago, Henry McMaster, the governor of South Carolina, announced that the seat will be filled because they needed a placeholder, somebody who could hold the seat until the election is held, until the next person takes over. So we're talking a few months at least. Because that would be in January that individual would take over. And of course, nobody expected this with his health issues. Nobody expected this. This was a shocker. And here is Henry McMaster announcing appropriately that that placeholder for that seat will be his younger sister, the younger sister of Lindsey Graham, Darlene. Take a listen.
Today under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve.
Wow, really beautiful. And of course, that's what President Trump wanted too. He put out on Truth Social today that he hoped the governor would pick Darlene to be the, quote, placeholder, to hold it for a few months while the election plays out. Somebody who would hold the seat, probably would not run. So it's an interim position, but very symbolic and very powerful, based on also the life story of how Lindsey Graham adopted her. And part of the reason, by the way, he adopted her was he wanted to make sure if something happened to him that she would get the benefits, that she would be taken care of, always thinking of somebody else, always looking out for his younger sister. And now she is taking the place of him. Here she is today. This was so moving when she said this and accepted that she would hold her brother's seat. She's going to be sworn in tomorrow. Listen to this.
I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsay's term. It is such an honor. Lindsay has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsay worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better. He loved his family and loved serving this state and our country. He dedicated his life to our country. It is such a privilege to get to finish some of his important work, and I promise to work hard over the next several months to support the President and carry forward the efforts of my brother on behalf of the citizens of South Carolina and the United States. I know Lindsay thought the world of his staff and colleagues, and with their support, I feel confident. I think this is what Lindsay would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now to Lindsay, I miss you more than I can even put into words, but I'm going to do this. I got it. Thank you.
Wow. Very beautiful and very emotional. And after the life story where he saved her, now she says, I have to step in for him. Lindsey Graham's going to be hugely missed, guys. The crackdown on the cartels, Ukraine, Iran, China, as I mentioned, Supreme Court. He was working on the Abraham Accords, trying to get Israel and Saudi together. This is what he was doing in his final weeks. And he was a huge voice with President Trump. President Trump absolutely valued his counsel. They used to golf together almost every weekend. This is an enormous loss for the president. He was a bridge to the Senate and the voice of reason with the Senate. He didn't always agree with President Trump. They ran against each other. In fact, remember famously when President Trump gave out his phone number during the debate? It was a real number, by the way. But he was like, here's the number. I had it. He used to call me all the time, like trying to mock him almost at that point. They were adversaries. And they quickly became friends. And Lindsey actually had fun with it. He's like, here's my phone, Mr. President. It was one of those like classic moments in the debate. But Lindsey Graham was humble and also hilarious. And everybody loved him.